our partners, and also the project management right here. I want to start from the middle. The middle is Mr. Osayende Agbonten. He is the project manager. He is the visionary. He is someone who is very much into production, but then he loves football. That's why Last Team Standing is not just another football scouting tournament, but it's a reality TV program. So if you ask me what's all this about, is the intersection of football, youth, and TV. So I want you to picture that, especially the media. So this is Mr. Osayende, and also I have Princess Olivia Adom, trying to teach me how to pronounce your surname this morning, who is very much involved with production also. She's based in Abuja, but she has done quite a lot around, not just in production, but a lot of facet of production. You'll get to know about her later. And to the far right there is Mr. Horace. Mr. Horace is all the way 2 days ago from Johannesburg, South Africa. He is part of the production team. He's going to be a director on the production. So he's here to answer questions around, the production part especially. And he's been involved for over 30 years. He's been involved in television. And then obviously, close to me here, he needs a man that needs no introduction. Our own TJ Tijani Babangida, who is one of our soccer legends. In the house, in the training camp, we're going to have soccer legends involved. And he is one of them. And also, sitting next to him is someone you've seen on TV, someone that has played soccer, and also has really put in a lot in football and hoping to put in a lot more in football itself. Mr. Ida Peterside. These two gentlemen here, these football legends, have been very supportive of this project in so many different ways. And we've managed to actually go beyond professional relationship and build personal relationships with them. So thank you guys. Thank you so much for coming. So at this moment, I want Mr. Osayende to please pick the mic. We're going to go around and just try to get to hear and know more about the project. So, Mr. Osas, as we call you, please just tell us a little bit about yourself and this concept, Last Team Standing.
I want to thank everyone for coming. The privilege for us to see a new day, as what the Almighty have given us today. Stop giving thanks to Him. The Last Team Standing is a youth development program that we feel we need to bring it on television. Like Solomon just mentioned, we're not a scouting agent. It's an avenue. Any scouting agent should come, it's fine. But it's an avenue for the young man in that village that can perform very well to be mentored by these great legends that we have beside us here, while we entertain the world. Football is one of the biggest entertainment industry that have not been refined properly. When you look football, you just come playing on the league there, on the field there, we sit in our living room, watch it, and that's all. But there is more to it. There's a life behind the ball. There's a skill behind, there's a story behind the talent. That young man that wants to be in the field to play, he has stories. Why am I not able to get there? That is what the Last Team Standing will be doing. To bring this young boy's story to the world to see that you can identify with him. I want to be part of him. Last Team Standing, it's a football reality TV show that we felt can change the world of football. It's not just for them playing alone, it's for them to be mentored. They're going to be in a house looking at from 12 weeks to like 4 weeks, just to mentor them on how to be a better leader. What happened after football? What happened while you are still in football? How do you manage yourself? Those are the things last things doing. And I pray that God Almighty should give us more wisdom, make this show a better one, and you have come and it will come to stay. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I want to ask you a question, Mr. O, just before we move on. And I know a lot of people here have questions. For the media, we're going to have the question and answers afterwards, later on. Why is last team standing any different from any other soccer scouting project? What element is there that is really going to make it different?
Okay. Other people, we've made research before we decided to go into this. Some tried and some failed, while some succeed. But what happened after that? There was no follow-up. Most of these guys, we didn't follow them up. We didn't hear them after those reality shows. We didn't hear about them. What we want to do, what makes ours different, is that we are going to follow this young boy up. Maybe he cannot even pay his school fees. That is what we are going to do. As a last team standing, we will make sure that we're going to follow this young boy until he reaches a particular goal in his life. That's what makes ours different. We're going to follow his life. That's what makes ours different.
Thank you very much. I must mention also, one of the things that Last Team Standing hope to do is to be able to, in the aftermath of a season, so this is going to be the first season of Last Team Standing. We're going to give you the timeline. I think a lot of people are asking, what is the timeline?
The timeline for now, the trial starts by June. That's when the trial starts, from state to state. For now, we've identified 12 states. We're moving around to head people house. As I mentioned before, we're looking at from 12 or 4 months. That's what we're 4 weeks, 12 to 4 weeks. That's what we're looking. But our trial starts from June. That's when the trial starts from.
All right, from state to state, June 1st. So right now, registration is officially open. Registration for players between the ages of 16 and 22, right?
Yes.
Registration is officially open, 16, 22. And if you go to the website, lastteamstanding.africa, you will find a whole lot of information there. There is the registration forms, there is the forms for also medical, so they need to do medical because we want to know about their state of health just in case. So lastteamstanding.africa, you can get a whole lot of information there. So they go to all these states, and then there's going to be trials. There's going to be hundreds of players. They go through trials, get scouts around, and then you get a couple of legends also to get to form a team. So we get, and each team comes from this state. They come together, the final training camp in Lagos, which is going to be for 30 days, and it's going to be live on TV. It's going to be live on TV. All right. So thank you very much. I'm sure they're going to have a bit of questions later for you. I really appreciate it. So let's keep the football going before we go to the production side. So I would love to, speak to my big brother, I call him, Mr. Ida Peterside, who happens to be a bishop. And officially, for those of you guys who don't know, let me just say it. He loves Nigeria so much that after over 20 years in South Africa, he's officially back in Nigeria, in Port Harcourt. He's moved back here. And he's not just moving back here to retire or whatever, but to really do a whole lot from sports and also to the church, which is part of his passion. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Solomon.
Yeah. So, last team standing, what's your idea about this concept?
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for really being here this morning. We want to find that player. As simple as that. We want to find that player. One of the reasons why I got involved in is because everywhere you go, you hear about players not getting into national teams, not doing well because somebody's asking them for money. Somebody's saying, if you sort me, I will sort you. But in this case, it's going to be different. Even if you're in Bauchi State, we will find you. The idea is that you that are in the media will see what we're talking about. That if a person called Ibrahim can play, everyone will know. So it's different. Everyone can know Ibrahim can play. And it's just like we do in The Voice. The Voice Africa, The Voice Nigeria. Sabi sing, Sabi sing. Don't need to bribe anybody. I know how to sing. That's the idea. The last man standing, as we go, will explain the concept. Because people will come in, will be dropped, and they will be voted for, which makes it interesting. You can't bribe anybody to be selected until we get to the point where you see the last team standing. This last team standing, there will be like a hostel where cameras will be following them like Big Brother house. It's going to be beautiful. And from there, they'll go to school. From there, in the evening, they'll come and play. And as they're playing, there will be eliminations. Those that are not good enough will be asked to go home. Sometimes, fellow players will vote out somebody that is a problem in their team. If you have Maguire, sorry for... you know that this one is not helping. The team will say, sell this one. So the concept is going to be beautiful. We want all your support. We're involved in it. TJ is going to say some things. We want to bring a new concept that even the media people, Swan, will say, see, this boy is 17. Invite him to the national team. And it will be a concession. Nobody will say there's any kind of... We want to come back to original roots, grassroots, and see how we can sanitize our football with benefits. Thank you.
Yeah, just before you move on, thank you. One of the important things he mentioned is this is about grassroots. This is about the grassroots. There is no football player that didn't start from the grassroots. But then, unfortunately, we miss a lot of talents from the grassroots because they never really got to have an opportunity. And for you, not just being a former footballer, you are the media officer for the Super Eagles. I remember during the 2010 World Cup. You've been in super sports for a long time, over 20 years, you know, as a presenter, analyst. The intersection of football and television. How do you think this would create opportunity for a young 17-year-old footballer?
I know everybody here is educated enough. But the word television, people don't really consider it. The word television means tell a vision. Tell vision. Somebody's telling and you can visualize it. That's what it comes to. People can say this player is good. Most of us don't know who Ronaldo is, don't know who Messi is, but television has told us. So that's important for us. That's where it's going to be 24 hours of television. 24 hours of television where you will follow the lifestyle. And even a player that is saying he doesn't want to go to school, people can say, no, you can't stay in this camp because Lodo. You understand? We want you to get education. There will be a lot of contributions. That's the power of television. Because we're going to be showing the players. And people will be seeing them. They're going to be stars in their own right. They're going to be stars. Because it's all about them. Those of us that are legends here will just be there to support them, teach them life. We have sessions where we will teach them how to be a man. morality, how to stand on your own, how to be a human being in the society. It's not all about just football. It's being able to raise a complete man that is gifted. We'll have sessions where we'll even get to their finances to make money. They didn't teach us these things. Every time we come back from abroad, anywhere, family people will gather your house. They will not ask you, have you invested? They'll say, give me, give me, give me. So many times when we finish playing and we are broke, they will still begin to curse us. This player is broke, but they collected all our money for burial and for birthday. But in Europe, things like that don't happen. Invest your talent, you invest your money, and you become a better person. All the things. That's why this last team standing competition will be different. It will tell a lot of stories. And trust me, you will not go and watch Manchester United. You will be in your room because you want to know what's happening. Importance of television.
Thank you so much. And you also have to remember, with last team standing, we accept all political parties, members from all political parties. Whether you are LUP or you are PDP or APC, please, we are non-partisan. Just to put that in the spanner. But thank you so much. I'll not go to TJ. Thank you so much, TJ flew all the way from Kaduna. And he came all the way here and just being here. TJ, you've been a youth footballer yourself, from the dusty streets of Kaduna, all the way to Niger Tornadoes, in Minna. And then you got into Holland through the back door because your first club, I said through the back door because your first club was not Ajax. You built that up.
In Venlo.
Exactly. VV Venlo.
Yes.
I remember that very well. So you've experienced a lot of youth. You've experienced youth football from a Nigerian perspective and also from a European perspective. Not just from a European perspective, but you went to the country that has arguably the best youth football system in the world, Holland. How would this concept, project, last team standing, able to fulfill the potential of young football players?
Thank you, Solomon. Good morning. It's still morning. Good morning, everybody. I was approached about this project, and to me, it looks completely different than all other projects. If you see when they are doing football scouting program, they don't care about the footballers themselves. All what they care is about the players. They will just pick and then move. You can take a raw player to Europe without knowing anything from himself. Just a younger player who nobody talked to him, and he just find himself in Europe. The moment he start playing, he can be famous. But at the end of the day, he don't know where he's going because life is step by step. If you see the program here, the last team standing, we will be talking to the players. We will be telling them and encouraging them. And of course, the most important thing that is missing always in Nigeria is the mentorship. We have to mentorship. We have to talk to the players. We have to let them know how the life is. We have to let them know they have a goal. What is their goal? If they were selected, they are going to Europe. They will have a goal to play in a big team in Europe. How they can go it step by step, mentality, the way they will think, psychology. We talk to them about it. And at the same time, we can also tell them, like my colleague here have said, when you went to Europe and get money, people will just come in and start talking to you here and there and giving them this and that. There is no mentorship that will tell you that you have to know that at the end of the day, the dollars or euro or pound sterling that you are collecting will stop. If you ask a younger player who is playing now, he will think that that pound sterling will be coming till he died. But in this kind of a program, we can be able to tell them the reality, because it's kind of a reality TV. We can be able to tell them the truth, and the whole Nigeria will see it. His parent will be watching, and we will tell them how he can be able to make it in life in football. Because to become a top player, you have to take it easy by easy, and we can be able to see playing and correcting you at the same time. So you can see it's completely kind of set up different than others, and I'm sure people will not miss it. If it's coming at 8 o'clock or 7 o'clock in the night or in the afternoon, I'm sure many people will glue to their television and try to see how it goes. And more advice are coming also. So I think it's an opportunity for players in Nigeria here. Everywhere in Nigeria, you can be in Akwa Ibom, or you can be in Sokoto or Maiduguri. This project is all for you. You can be able to come and showcase yourself, and for sure, you are selling yourself, because when they are when they are seeing you in TV, all Nigeria will see you. Scout will watch you. They don't even have to come. They will see and listen and watch what you do, how you play, and I think it's very important. Thank you.
And so, you know, playing football for you, growing up and where you are now, how do you think football has helped you become a better person, become a better father, husband, just a better citizen of Nigeria? What are some of the attributes, character attributes that you actually got from football?
Well, in football, you get a lot and you learn a lot. You get fame that you can never imagine how you can be able to get that fame. But football can be able to rush you. Football can be able to make you a good person as well, because you will come across a lot of people who are coming to ask you, no matter what you do, even though you are saving always and making a lot of things or projects with your money, but you still can meet people who come and help you, and that makes you become a better person. And of course, you will also become fame, like I said. Everywhere in the world, in your city, everybody will see you, and I believe football has helped a lot.
Right, thank you very much. So we'll move over to the other side, and whilst we sort out the fan, I think it's here, it was switched off here. So I'm not sure anybody is familiar with, yeah, thank you. Mr. Horace, thank you so much. Tell us a little bit about yourself, just so people would know some of the television work you've done in the past.
I'm not a public speaker. Hey, where my works. I'm in television for 42 years, and 23 of that 42 years I've spent in Nigeria. You know, so half of my life I spent it everywhere else in the world. Last 20 years between South Africa, Nigeria, and Canada. You know, that's my base. And so when Osas called me and it's like, look, you know what, I'm on board the show. I'm like, oh, yeah. My philosophy is very, very simple. Television is created when you write, when you put the idea together. The idea sucks, then the show will suck. You know? So it is very simple. I prefer to actually, I need longer developing the story better, but I know that the show will basically. So that in a nutshell, it's me.
Thank you, Horace. You were South African, so straight, you didn't grow up with football. You grew up with rugby or cricket, that kind of thing. You know, but now is football. But with your experience in television and productions, how can we tell this sort of story of a concept like Last Team Standing?
I'm looking at it. last standing, and
Put your mic close to it.
the
Yeah.
last team standing can mean so many things for so many people. And as you just said, that I grew up playing soccer, cricket, baseball, basketball, whatever, all of those kind of things. Because the people I went to was participating in all those sports. And when I look at the last team standing, I'm looking at it, basically looking at all sports, starting this first season, football, and starting it in Nigeria. And we all know, in Nigeria, soccer is, but we have so many other sports that actually also come into the thing that is being played across the continent. That's what we want to basically, you know. In South Africa, we look at rugby, we look at cricket, and our soccer is lousy, particularly our national team. But our league at this point in time has just grown in leaps and bounds over the last couple of years. And we have one team that's dominant in the African market as it stands right now. And not just on the African market, but across the continent. And sometimes I just hope that they can actually, other teams look better, you know. So, yeah, and so that for me, I look at sports in general, and yes, this first season, focus on soccer.
All right. Thank you very much, and good luck to Bafana Bafana.
Well, I think maybe they should actually take a leaf out of the book of Banyana Banyana. They do exceptionally well.
That's right. And Banyana Bayana is also joining the Super Falcons of Nigeria. Obviously, as we know, they're going to the World Cup in New Zealand, Australia, down under, the next World Cup. So great women's football team. And women's football is definitely coming up. That's why we go to a woman. Princess Olivia, good to have you. And let's start with just the whole. You were a football player yourself growing up, school, you know. So obviously you know football. You don't just follow Arsenal because your husband is an Arsenal fan, or Manchester City because it's a Man City fan, but you know football. How important? And you are also into production and marketing. How important with a concept like this, especially for you being a part of this team, how important is a concept like this, and how would it resonate with the demographics in the country? Mike, closer.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think Harris has said basically where my mind is tilted towards as regards the production of this project. The last team standing apparently is a good project, has all of the qualities to give a good show, but there's a part of me you don't know. I am also a content developer, develop contents for television. Okay, and the areas which our conversations day up to today, what we are seeing for our for the demographics here in Nigeria, the last team standing, working this season on footballing talents, of course, is a great concept. However, the brand in itself speaks for itself. It's a brand that could easily attract the international, the global market as well, as regards the content produced out of it. Besides being, besides what Peter Said Ida had mentioned earlier concerning, you know, we want to follow up on the back end story of these footballers. We also, to have good television, we're also looking out for rivalries. I mean, Uncle Peter Said, you know your life now. You know the lives you guys live as footballers. And we're going to bring, oh please, you know what I'm talking about, okay? So some of those aspects, those little interesting aspects of sportsmen, will be bringing some of those things to fore, where there are little rivalries, click formations, the drama, the excitement, you understand, the fitness, and everything that makes a good and perfect show is what the last team standing is going to be about. They've already mentioned the aspects where we'll be having, the aftermath of the show, the aftermath effects of the show, which is the end result, where we'll have these young talents be mentored by soccer legends. Or in an event where we go to a country like South Africa where they do great in cricket, same way they said Bafana sucks in football, Nigeria sucks at everything besides football. Let's be realistic, okay? So we have countries where the brand goes to, like, for instance, we go to South Africa, the United States is very good at basketball, but they suck at football, right? And we want to ensure that any young talents, as many young talents as we can reach, will be taken, we will have to, hop on the wings of this brand, the last team standing, to get discovered and have their talents showcased at the same time. Thank you.
All right. So a little bit, around the content. There's always, the content has quite a lot of elements in it, because you would be wondering, they're going to be together for 30 days in the training camp. What is going to be happening in the training camp? How do you make sure you get content that is going to keep audiences watching? And part of what we hope to do also, I think Mr. O, I forgot to mention it, we're going to mention it later, is Welcome Arise. It's supposed to be the first here because you are Arise. Thank you so much for coming. And there is the element of, when we go to these 12 locations, the trials, to get a team that would come out of these 12 locations to the training camp, we don't just concentrate on the action on the soccer pitch, but we try to follow the story of individual players. Where is this player from? What sort of family? What are the struggles he's been through? What sort of school? How did he start playing? So we want to tell the story of the player. Like I think TJ mentioned earlier on, an agent, most agents, to be honest with you, they don't really care about your family, what you've been through, your mental health, or whatever. They're not interested in that. They're interested in your talent so they can sell it, got some money, and then that's just it. But we want to tell their story because we want the audiences to also understand where the story is coming from. Just so when one of them makes it tomorrow and plays in the La Liga or somewhere in Holland, you know that they have a story of getting from rag to riches. So you can get inspired. Victor Osimhen, we went to an area in Lagos here the other day and they showed us a football pitch, some technical college where he used to play. And he used to roam the streets and sell water and all that. We need those inspirational stories. That's why a lot of us actually follow soccer, not just because of the action on the pitch. Who is going to win, who is not just that. We follow their story because in their story there's hope. In their story there's inspiration. In their story there is perseverance. In their story there's hard work. Don't quit, don't give up. But Princess, there is a twist. Let's stick with the content now. There's a twist in this whole thing, right? You actually put your foot on the ground and said, look, hey, we need to get the ladies in the house.
The show is definitely okay. So anybody that doesn't like it, our legends here would also understand that. I mean, we've been fighting for when we say equal rights for
50-50
men
split.
and women. The good thing is the female national team of Nigeria, the Super Falcons, have been doing way more better since after Olympic 96. Okay? And I think having a gender fluid show where we have you train a multi-facet team, like a multi-gender team, a mixed gender team, it will go a long way in also bringing the drama. For goodness sake, we don't bring men, full-grown ass men in the house, keep them in one space, and then we don't expect to get a little bit of rom-com. So, I mean, it's part of drama. We are interested, you are interested in the talents, we're interested in the content. And guess what? And we also have to have our cameras beam their lights, or else to be sure we are going to see how the ladies also sneak on the other side. And it happens.
Yeah. So it's just a reality of football fraternity itself, and we're going to have a female representation. You know, I was talking to somebody who's like, you can't put a female and a man like football to play together. I've seen a lot of it. My kids go to a soccer school, and I've seen some girls there. It's like, wow. And also, I'm sure for some of you guys, journalists especially, you've been close to female footballers, and you know their abilities. You know what they're able to do. They take the man pound for pound. They fight it, right? So we want to be able to bring that dimension to it. And you are sure that dimension is something that we can build up, isn't it?
Exactly. It's already done. I mean, you can see the exciting performances, the likes of Azizat Oshola. And like we said, last team standing besides this talent, Ross is going to be a microcosm of the footballing world, okay, or the sporting world. You know how exciting and very dramatic and, you know, very entertaining sportsmen are. But many a times we tend to see them for 90 minutes on the field of play in the case of football, but we don't know their back-end stories. So this show is a whole lot and more. It's a combination of all of those facets, and of course, beaming the light mostly on their talents, but we need to give Nigerians everything combined. And Africans generally, we need to give everything combined.
All right. Thank you very much. If you have any question, obviously we're going to fill that up later. But before we go to the question, we were supposed to have two football agents who are part of our scouting team. We're trying to get them on Zoom and actually have them here so you can hear from them also. And also we've been trying to get across to legendary actor Zach Oji, because he is also part of the team. He has a very unique role in the team. We've been trying to get across to them, and as soon as we do that, we're going to let you guys know. So, we're going to take some time to ask and take a few questions. Yeah. We're going to take some time and ask, get you to ask a few questions. Afterwards, we're also going to have a one-on-one, especially for the television guys. We're going to have it over there. So we just want you to just tell us your name, your media house, and who your question is for.
Thank you very much, Mr. MC. So you are doing the work of the media, because you're supposed to compare the event. My name is Femi Adetula, the immediate past PRO Nigerian Olympic Committee, a freelance producer with SuperSport. I worked with SuperSport for 10 years, canvassing the league. I have my colleague right table there. Well, when you talk about television production, I'm always very interested. You understand? And looking at the project on hand, well, you've not told us how you want to go about the data. Because I know there should be data. It should be data-based. It is one. Mentorship, I'm happy with what TJ said, that they're going to be mentored. But aside that, looking at this project, you have not told us how many people will be in the house. Even the scouting problem, you just mentioned 12 states. Where are these states? Who are the people you are working with? How do you intend to do all this? Because there are one or two things we are missing that we have not gotten. So I think we should have all this. Thank you very much.
All right. Mr. O, I think you can answer that, but I can answer some of the questions also. Some of the states, Oyo, we actually have the Oyo coordinator. In each state that we have, we put together a local organizing committee. We call it LOC. And we have the LOC for Oyo is here, right? Are you here? Yes, he's here. So he's in charge of Oyo. And we also have Lucky from Edo, came in from Edo. Yes, he's here. So we have local organizing committees and we have coordinators. Some of them are football coaches, some of them are involved with youth sports, but they are grassroots people. First we look for grassroots people, and then from there, that's where the trials is going to happen. They get the teams together, trials is going to happen, pick a team from there. Each team is 14 people, 11 and 3 extra. So each team is 14 people. And you're going to get each team from this 12 zones. So it's Oyo, Edo, Lagos, Plateau, Gombe, Kaduna, Abuja, Rivers, Delta. You go on.
Osun and Ekiti.
All right. So, and say a little bit about it from his question.
You asked about how we're going to collect the data. For now, we're looking at 12 states, which Solomon have just given you the numbers. And we are looking for 588 players in each state. And that is the work of the LOC in all of these states, and which they are busy working on right now. We register, and as they register, we collect the information, and that is what we are working with. I believe we've answered the question, sir. So is your question, is it clear? Is it answered? Well, it's not clear. Let us know what is not clear so that we can. Okay.
Well,
let him ask a question.
As regards the campaign,
okay,
I'm sure some people will go into the camp
yes,
for the competition itself.
168 people will be in the camp.
Into the camp.
Yes.
Beautiful. Now, from there, said this will be live on television.
Yes.
Yes. Because all these informations we will need. And I'm sure my colleagues will agree with me that these informations we will need. That okay, on social television, on 8, maybe on NTA, 9 p.m. to 10 p.m., so things happening on Super Sports, Arise, or what have you. And this and this and this are the things we want to do as regards, because it's a press conference. You need to just let us have all these details so that I can work on it very perfectly.
Thanks for your.
That's why we allow you to ask questions.
Thanks.
Just so.
Thanks for your questions.
Get it.
You see, we understand the power of what we do here. But you see, every information has to spread. And we are just in the project. Introducing the project, more information will be released. And as we have coordinators in different states, just like in Port Harcourt already. Port Harcourt, there's an advert there, and we're already recruiting. As I speak to you, we have close to 40 young men already in. But we want to make sure that some of these things are in place. And once they're in place, and the people that are directly involved, we are contacting them and making sure we are reaching them. Like the advert now is saying, if we're interested in this in their zone, if I do announce it in Lagos, Lagos people will react, because this will be a center. So those 12 centers, that's why we're having these conferences, be known. And once, like he's here already, he already knows what he's doing, trying to recruit who we need in those different 12 zones. And once these things are set, when you watch Big Brother House, like you know, don't let the TV you start seeing what's happening in the house. But they tell you that Big Brother will start in September. But the underground stuff, when they are traveling with their bags into the camp, don't know. It's when the program starts, they will tell you it starts on the 5th. When it starts, that's when. Because if we tell you everything, the excitement will not be there. What's next? Doing what's next, like the Big Brother Oga here will be in week's time, there will be an eviction. That's when you will know there will be an eviction. So please be calm, be patient with us. As we go, a lot of things will be revealed.
Yes, thank you. And also, just to mention, you like what platform, where is it going to be shown? We have we have a satellite TV channel right now. If you look behind you, there's that banner there. You see the last team standing logo, and by it is a channel's logo. It's called Root Sports. Root Sports is a TV channel. It went live on the 1st of February exclusively for this project. You can find it on free-to-air TV, and you can find it on our website. There's the link. It's not an online TV, it's a satellite TV. If you guys who know how to maneuver to go to free-to-air, and we are talking to other platforms like DSTV and also StarTimes. We had meetings with them just to be able to see how we can migrate it from free-to-air to a regular platform. So that's a part of what we're going to do. And so we have a channel already dedicated for that we're working on. Yes. Please don't forget, tell us your name and your media house.
All right. Good morning, everyone. My name is Johnny Edward, and I write for the Punch newspaper. Laudable project, and I can only wish you the very best. Because the pastor here has said you don't want to let everything out of the bag, which you want to agree at least for now. But you've not told us registration is going to be free. And if not, how much will these young kids pay to register to be part of the last team standing? Thank you.
All right. Princess, you can answer that.
I'll be direct with that, with the response to that. We all know the economic situation in the African continent. Everybody here is more concerned about helping discover these talents and then bringing them to the limelight, right? So apparently, there is no registration fee tied to it. Bottom line, come with your talent, okay? Mr. Peter Side has mentioned as well that there's already a camp set up in Port Harcourt. That's the Port Harcourt Center, where the boys will be assembling, or the players, the talents rather, will be assembling. We also want to make it clear that that doesn't mean only people from Rivers State can come there, just like Big Brother, like some other reality shows. You pick centers, right? We have 12 centers. The one closest to you is where you should go to and participate in the screening process.
Yes, so we have centers, and centers, if you have a center in Jos, you could cover Bauchi, or you could cover Benue, or whatever. If you have a center in Delta, and we don't just have centers, we've actually identified, in these centers, we identified the grounds. Where are they going to assemble? The venue. We've identified the venues already. We've actually gone around to see the venues ourselves. And because it's for television, we need a certain kind of venue for it to be able to look good on television. When we started this project initially, because it was a project starting from a passion, we had to invest our resources, and we said, look, maybe we should charge a fee. We actually started with maybe we should charge a fee, we should get a fee, but we got to a place where we said, look, this is football. And we know football players, a lot of them cannot afford it. So somewhere along the way, we said, look, we make it free, and hopefully we would get sponsorship to be able to back it up. Maybe we would even get to the place of sponsorship. Do we have a big sponsor yet? No, we don't have a big sponsor yet, but we're talking to quite a few sponsors.
Alex May from the Nigerian newspaper. I need clarity here. This aside, when we are analyzing, you said players that will be chosen. If of them don't want to go to school, other team members will out. But you're talking about like a Big Brother show, a closed camp, or you are going to be monitoring all the players and they are going home and coming back, or they'll be in the closed camp. I want to get clarity there.
It's going to be a closed camp.
A closed camp.
Yes.
And for the ST internationals, what are the benefits of us at the end of the day? Are they going to be linked to clubs?
There's no way is something nice and not come after it. What we're trying to do is to give a voice to those ones that don't have a voice. Because Nigerians will be watching. Even yourself can say this player is good enough to play for under 20, under 17, because the talents will be seen. That's the most important thing. It's going to be on television. The talents will be seen, and because they are seen, once you are seen, even if you are in the location in the bush, once you are good enough and people see you, there will be an interest. We have a lot of teams in Nigeria. We have a lot of agents and scouts. I'll be looking at these players. Chief, you ask me a question now, you're leaving. Hope you ask me a question.
All right. I think his question is answered. Yes.
I think that, earlier on my speech, I already said that already, that since it's coming live on TV, that most agent and club side and even the national team, many people who are into football will be watching. So they don't even need to come to the venue where we are doing it, and it's going to be an open thing. That is the advantage of this project, because it's coming live on TV.
Right. Let me go over to this side here.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Omodia. I'm head of sports for Max FM Lagos. I have questions, but first of all, I just want to appreciate the entire team. This is a laudable project, no doubt. I covered a game in 2017 at the Agege Stadium, and a certain player, Sikuru Olatubosun, scored a beautiful goal against Enugu Rangers, playing for MFM. And that goal, because it was on TV, made the CNN goal of the week. And it hogged the headlines. I'm sure my colleagues can bear me witness. I was live at the stadium. Because of coverage, TV coverage, that goal won CNN goal of the week. And that's how Sikiru's rise started as a player. So first off, my happiness and joy is that this is going to be live on TV. It's amazing, fantastic, because the whole world will be watching. And I'm sure the team should also look at social media as well. It's the end thing. It has to go digital, YouTube Live, Facebook, Instagram, and all of that. Then my questions are, number one, how many legends will be involved in this? I know you talked about legends. Is it just going to be Tijani and Peter Said Ida, or there are more legends to come? That's number one question. Number two, this one is really direct to Mr. Osayen there. How do you guard against age falsification in screening? A 28-year-old man can walk into the screening as a 20-year-old. We cannot shy away from this. This has affected our football for ages now, and it still does. The under-23 Eagles that just got out, we read news about, age, whatever. It was on the news. So how do you guard against age falsification? Are you going to go to their schools? Are you having their birth certificates or whatever? So that's another question. Then the last question is, the final pick or the final selection. What is the modality and criteria? Is it going to be, because it's a reality TV show, will the viewers vote, just like the BB Niger, whatever? Would they vote, or is the ex-internationals or the legends that will do the final pick based on experience? Thank you.
Well, great questions. Thank you so much. The issue of age cheating is legendary. Even our political leaders are involved. So it's not only a football. Not it's not only a football matter. But you know, one of the good things that is happening to Nigeria, I have a 4-year-old daughter, and to do a Nigerian passport for her. We've all come back to, and they said to me, NIN. I think it's a great innovation, NIN. Because once they register that her 4 years, she can't come back after 20 years and say she's 18. So what we're doing, a lot of people don't understand it. So one of the things we request for is your NIN. And once you your NIN, we have to accept it. We are not your father nor your mother. And the truth about it is that even as we speak, most of them are having their NIN now. There's nothing, if you want to write WAEC, they are already telling you go and have NIN. So it's going to really curb a lot of age cheating. So when they come into the camp, we'll request for the NIN. At least even if you say you are 16, we'll believe you. We'll take it from there. I think it's going to help. That's another. There's a lot of things they have not explained that we know. Those watching us, watching the live shows, will be voting. And not just that, it is those watching the live shows that will really be deciding whom we keep, whom we. Yes. And sometimes we'll give the opportunity to teammates to kick out somebody that is weak in their own setup. Somebody that is weak among them, might be asked to go. And once there are a whole lot of details, which I'm not sure it's for your benefit. It is the participants that will know what it takes to be in the house. I'm revealed, because once they come together, they will be briefed and be told what will happen in the house, what will not happen in the house. So the beauty is that you will see it on TV and see, wow, is this what is done? And there will be prizes. You know, it's the last team standing. They can't just come and waste their time. There will be a lot of financial rewards for people that make the last team. As we go, there will be sponsors are coming in. There will be rewards. And not just monetary aspect, there will be scouts. There will be scouts that can come in and say, oh, this player, that player, and we can help. Make sure that get good clubs. Listen, I think it's going to be obvious when we start that this boy can play. And not just European teams. Local teams, even league teams can say, we saw a boy in zone 2 or in Akure zone or in Just zone. We want to sign him on at the benefit.
Right.
Thank you so much.
And may I mention also, you've had your turn. I think there are other people. Just hold on. So can we be fair?
Okay, you said how many? Yeah, the legends.
How many legends?
We are going to be bringing them, but mind you, these two will always be in the house. Then we have a special guest. Special guest will always come to meet this one in the house. But these two are always in the house. Special guests will always come to meet with them. Yeah.
So
there's a format that is designed already that cannot just bring out everything. It's going to be stage by stage.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'd like to add about that. Now, reality television, just like what you see on Big Brother and all of that, what we expect you to know is basically the basic format of what it is. Because when it comes to television, this can be tweaked as the show rolls. Okay? You know how this thing works. So bottom line, 24-hour sports-based reality TV show format. Okay? And it's going to be between the space of 4 weeks and 12 weeks. But for this first season, we are targeting to do it for 4 weeks. For this first edition. The lives. So like Mr. Peter Side mentioned, whatever is happening at the back end is supposed to create back end stories and other interesting materials that we'll be using on social media and all of that. It's not meant for us to sit and give out all of those details during the press conference.
Right, and we have a social media account. It's Last Team Standing 2023. Last Team Standing 2023. That's what we're building it. We're building that on. And like he rightly said, we're going to have surprises. So we're going to have two of these legends there. We're going to have surprises coming in. You know, there's a lot of activities in there. It's because this is the first season. If this was Big Brother now, I'm sure there's not going to be lots of questions like that. But after the first one, obviously we know the Big Brother format. Though we know the Big Brother format for 2022, in 2023 they can change a few things too. Right? But we only know about it when we watch. We only know the additions or what they take away when they watch. So the production part of it, we can actually tell you a little bit of what we do. And also, I'm sure you guys are in the WhatsApp group for media. There is a press release that we have we actually sending around. Veronica has there's a press release. There's a lot of other information there. Like, part of the benefit is we're planning to take the winning team on a tour of soccer academies in Spain. There is a financial prize for the winning team. All that is in the press release. So my actually take is, I think you have it already, or if you're not in the WhatsApp group, please join the WhatsApp group so we can speak to me or you can speak to Veronica. We're going to take one last question. Then
you have information or a question. Yes, you have.
I was going to say, in things like this, because over time in this country, when you're talking anything about football, the federations and the NFF, is there any, Peter Saida is there, TJ is there, have you gotten in touch with them before they say, oh, they're clamping down on you? That is just what I want to add.
The answer is yes. We're talking to them. We're not just talking to the NFF, but we're also talking to the, like here, LFA. Shola is our man here. He's talking to LFA. When we go to like Jos, we talk to the local people there. Just a notification because of what we're doing. So the answer is yes. Last question here. Okay.
Thank you. Good morning. My name is Samuel from Cool FM, Wazobia FM, and Nigeria Info FM. I've got 3 questions here. First off to Mr. Osas. You did mention something about this being quite different from any other TV reality show, and now that it's football, there is the supposition that talented footballers are not necessarily educated. And I beg to be corrected, but for an event like this, is there a role, maybe if it is for 8 to 12 weeks, is there preference or relevance given to formal education for these boys and these girls that are also going to be selected to be in camp, aside just playing football, being on TV, and all of that? And secondly, I'd also like to ask, Princess Olivia mentioned this also being different, even though there's examples being mentioned with Big Brother and all of that. The role of the media, my colleague here did mention something about a goal that was scored here in Nigeria, and if not for the media, it wouldn't have made it globally. What other role does the media have to play besides us just coming here today and covering this event? When we all leave here, what other things do we need to do to make this event continue to gain the popularity and the relevance it does deserve? And finally, to Mr. Peter's side, you did mention something about sorting in cases like this. How does or how will the last team standing help or curb these kind of things, especially beyond this tournament, going further and in Nigerian football at large?
Thank you very much. Okay. Horace, there's quite a few questions there though.
Yeah. I'm gonna just deal with the first question, which is the educational question. Yeah. And I think we all basically know that many of our very talented football stars did not have formal education. So what is the next best thing that you can do for football star that does not have formal education? You give him management education, how to manage their money, how to spend their money. Give them the understanding of, because you know, even some of the football stars that is currently playing all over the world, find them playing overseas or wherever, and they make all this money. And the first thing they do, they go and buy 20 cars, no value, right? Because there's no business education that actually teach them that. Look at business education, because your soccer is a business. Because after, maybe if you're lucky, you spend 10, 15 years, and you're in your late 30s, early 40s, and all that cars that you purchase, there's no value. So we need to let them refocus in terms of what is important for them to. And that's what we're going to do, people with no formal education.
Yeah, and we know there's also going to be people who are going to be in the training camp, and like you're from deep down, Gusau, Zamfara, and I mean, English, because you speak English, it doesn't mean you're intelligent, you're more intelligent. English is just a language. Oh, English shouldn't be a measure of anybody's intelligence. Oh, there are people that learn in their language. We have the Russians who don't speak English, and they are good innovators and scientists. So, but then you have somebody from Gusau who doesn't speak English, and then he's in a community now for 4 weeks where English is being spoken more because majority of the players there are English. So it's our responsibility to also make the player to be able to adapt better, so there's some sort of orientation, and also to be able to fit in and not feel isolated. Football in itself is a language. Once they get on the football pitch, obviously there's going to be that connection. And one thing you mentioned also, and one thing we're working on when it comes to Canada and the US, is we're actually part of our plan at the end of the day when it comes to education is how do we create scholarship for these players to go over to the US and study. We know the US sporting system, universities or colleges, high schools. You know, Shola is here. Shola spent over 10 years or 20 years in the US, 27, and played there and everything. How do we create a network where some of the players who don't really get scouted, but they are interested in education, we can open a door for them, an opportunity in a high school or in a college or university in the US on scholarship. Because the US is growing their soccer a lot, especially in the universities, just like they do basketball or American football. So it's becoming extremely strong. There's a South African player that went to play in the university in the US, and he did his degree. He was scouted by Kaizer Chiefs. He never got to play and all that, and then some coach said, look, come to the US, and he was interested in education. Went there, finished his university, and somehow he got scouted. Today he's playing for Dallas FC, the major league. But it was through the university. So there are opportunities like that, and again, there are some players that might be interested in going to study more, or they actually don't know that they can study and play soccer at the same time. So they get that kind of option. Yes.
Well, thank you. This ball and education thing. Not every footballer that likes mathematics. Not every footballer that will go to school. Most times we put so much emphasis on old school. There are people that are talented, that are gifted, and their gift will make a room for them. Our responsibility is to guide them. To guide them. Everybody can go to school. Everybody will get a degree. We'll guide them. Tell them how to be a man. How to live as a man. Be able to manage life. For me, that's very important. Secondly, talked about how do we age cheating. You know what you said? Sorting. Where people bribe people. We've been able to choose correctly, able to look at our coordinators and tell them what we want. Any story about sorting, the person will leave. We will make sure. And when we talk to these players, we're going to be in camps. We're going to talk to them. Pay anybody to be here. Anybody demand money, has to be morally right. Anybody demand money from you. Remember, we're coaches, mentors. We want to hear these things from them. Because tomorrow we don't say, we want to hear you didn't choose us, even after we paid you money. So we're going to follow up with that. A story that a coordinator, that's where it's going to start, that a coordinator was offered money, we will put our foot down and discipline that person. And once you know that we're genuine with what we're doing, as much as possible, that's why again, it's a live TV. I said, maybe you were not here. If you can't sing, you can't sing. In football, I used to have a coach on the Sinclair. Sinclair would say, you don't bribe the fans to clap for you. You don't bribe the fans. Once you dribble, they clap, hey, the same time. Because you've done something right. That's what we're going to be looking at.
I want to add, I believe during my speech from the beginning about the educations of the player, the best thing we can do is mentorship. I said it already, yes, mentorship. Because when you mentor them, they can be able to know exactly how the life is, and you will guide them how to become top players, and at the same time educate them about the life after football, which is very, very important, how to save, how to do other things. That is it. Thank you.
Yeah. So, I must say, my colleague, Osayende, by the way, this whole concept is brought to you by Osaslo Media. If you're wondering, okay, who is behind this? It's called Osaslo Media. My colleague has, was involved, and we've been involved in a reality show about 10 years ago here in Nigeria called Discover Nigeria, Quest Nigeria. And one of the things that happened, there were contestants, and one of the things that happened is one of them, they give you a clue, and obviously you go to a certain tourism site. It was just promoting the tourist sites around the state. And you're not supposed to have your cell phone. And one of the contestants actually smuggled his cell phone, and he was using his cell phone to gain an advantage. And unfortunately, we had to kick him out of the show. Because for us, sports is a business, it's a commercial business. But sports or football has values that are very important for everyday living. We are not the fly-by-night type people. We are not saying, let's do this and defraud people. That's far from it. Well, maybe because you don't know us. But this is something that we feel it is very important for television, for the youth, and I hope that you guys are going to be able to support us. I would want to go around the table just to give me your final word in 30 seconds.
I want to say thank you for everyone. Take their time to come on wonderful press conference. All we just need from all of you is positive news, and believe that we've come to stay. This will be a reality show like other before. Just believe in us and be part of us. Whatever good advice you have for us, let us know and we'll stick to that. Thank you.
What we want to say is, if you can play football, we'll find you. That's the bottom line. And it's going to be clean. We will find you. Don't find us, we'll find you. We'll make sure that the people we bring in will be a new set of players that everyone will know that we have talents in this country.
Thank you.
Well, we want to see that we have given our experience that we have to the kids, and also for the journalists, look at the project in a positive way. Because with the journalists, we can be able to achieve what we will do. This is the first year. We have the challenges, but I'm sure, God willing, it will be fine. Thank you.
For bringing you excellent opportunity for wannabe stars to hop on the field and struggle for space. Basically, the last man standing is here to stay.
I just want to thank everybody for coming today. And I hope that we're going to have a fruitful relationships between yourselves and ourselves. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. And I want to say thank you so much for the members of the media. Please, if you have any question, you can approach myself, Mr. O, or Princess especially. If you have any question, we're going to just take a photo here. And if you want to have a one-on-one interview, we can have a one-on-one interview right there, at the banner right there, especially for television. The banner right there is for. Thank you so much. We really appreciate you.
So we arrange them. So it's not only about scouting program or maybe we want to select a player and take him out of the country. No, it's about to bring the players down to a particular place, about 100 and something of them, where we can be able to, and there will be ejection. Some of the players will be going out and people will even try to bring their own voice and choose their own player. It's something different, very different.
All right, sir. You've been part of scouting programs over the years. You know how much you've invested into football. You're part of the national team. Talk to us, how does this fit into the whole footballing ecosystem?
It is, because it's a reality show. You can see that some agents, it can be all over the world, because some agents cannot even come and spend their money even to come to the venue where the football is. You can follow it all on TV. So that is why you see the differences between this and the other ones.
So thank you very much.
You're welcome.
So, how do you think this is going to help Nigerian football?
It is, because you see that we have a lot of young talent who want to showcase themselves. Some you cannot see them, some you cannot even bring them to the national team. But if this program started is a TV reality show, you never know who is going to watch, because it's TV. The moment it starts hitting, it will become that everybody is watching. A club side from Nigeria can be able to identify a player, club in Europe, agent, anything can happen. And the most importantly is the mentorship, that we, the legend, who can be able to talk to the players about their life, a life after football, and the life they will meet when they are playing football. You're welcome.
My philosophy is very simple. In order for you to make a good television show, it's preparation, preparation, and preparation. Basically, making the show, it's actually 1/3 of what needs to go in terms of making a good show. And that's my philosophy in all of my life. And it's not going to change. And that's why I believe that we're going to have a very different show to any of the other reality shows that's currently in Nigeria.
All right, so give us, what are the viewers to expect from this reality show?
Well, I tell you what, the viewers will expect the unexpected. That's basically what's going to happen in the show. We're going to have a lot of unexpected issues that's going to come up during the show. And as I said, it's part of the design of the show, you know, unexpectation or unexpected things that will happen on the show.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
What the privacy of the participants in the competition? After they have been left out of the competition, do they still have access to those databases and they can as progress?
Look, as I'm saying, the show is not just about football. This is a holistic show. We're looking at education, blah, 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 all of those kind of things. So even people that will be eliminated, we'll give them the opportunity to say, hey, you know what, there is a college course happening or whatever the case may be, and I think that's what we want to basically do. It's not just people get eliminated and they go. You know, we want to try and give them a different opportunities.
At the grassroots level, discounting all these players that will come into the house. Those players that might be schooling at the grassroots level, do they have the means of having a database on the platform?
Look, the thing is, what we want to try and do, we want to try and accommodate everybody, but unfortunately, sometimes, you know, even if you try your damnedest, you can't just basically have everybody having access or whatever the case may be. But there's people that would like continuously come back and say, no, you know, even though I didn't qualify to go, I still want to have access. So that then depends on the individual. Thank you.
My name is Shola Alaka. I'm the LOC. I'm the Lagos Organizing Committee for Last Team Standing.
Now, what are the mediums that you want to use in getting the grassroots team participate in this?
Especially in Lagos, we all know Lagos is a melting pot for young talented footballers, and in order to get enough talent, we definitely have to reach out to the local coaches. We are going around talking to local coaches and talking to different academies to get the word out, and the whole idea is try to get as many talented kids as possible to come out for the showcase.
Lagos is a home of sports that we know. I don't see it to be a problem. What about if you have more than your target? Will you still accommodate them, or is there a deadline for the registration and when the screening program?
Absolutely, we do have a deadline for registration. We're planning on ending the registration by end of May, with the goal to start our tryouts in June. But we are definitely trying to accommodate as many talents that come out, despite the fact that the registration is free. Anybody can register, but the whole idea is to get as much talent as possible. Like you said, Lagos is a melting pot. It's a home for talent, especially for football. But ultimately, we're trying to get as much as talent as possible, so we can get the best out of Lagos to represent at the national level.
So automatically, we should have at the back of our mind that we'll be moving around all local governments to really scout, because we know in some areas they might not be privileged to have information about this. Are we going to be moving local government by local government to get all the teams we need in Lagos?
Yes, sir. Personally, that's my goal. Like I said, in order for us to see all the talents through Lagos, we definitely have to go to the grassroots and go to each local government to get tryouts and get to talk to different coaches there in order for us to bring the kids out. So in the best way is to actually go to different local government and try to get as much talent as possible.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
And that is how we'll be heading straight. That is how the end of the press briefing for today. Bello Omotunde is my name, and you surely enjoy all the clips. The grassroots teams go on www.lastteamstanding.africa and get yourself registered and shoot yourself to the wall. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.